Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to study software testing unit 2 session 11. In the previous topic we have studied the concept compatibility testing. We need compatibility testing to check out that our software works with all the infrastructure of the system, whether it is operating system or whether it is any browser or databases and so on. In today's session, we are going to study the topic user documentation testing. So user documentation testing is testing the documentation of your software product. So whatever you have done regarding the software product, these all records has to be maintained in one documentation. So documentation acts like one proof that how you analyze your software, what requirements you have developed in your software, and which are the various phases you have carried out, and how is the flow of the system that you are going to show in the diagrams. So all details about your software will be recorded in this documentation. You need to create the documentation for as a record of your software product, so that this documentation should further help the other users to use your software. So your documentation must be in such a way that it should be useful to the developers, the testers, as well as for the users. User documentation is done to check the documentation matches the product and vice versa. Okay. Now why we need to carry out this documentation testing? To check out that whatever you have specified in the document is matching with the working of the software. It should not happen that something else you have mentioned in the documentation and your software is doing something else. So whatever is specified in the documentation should match with the product working and vice versa. So this is the purpose of user documentation testing. Sometimes it becomes very complicated for the user to use the system. So these all user manuals, user guides should help the user. And see, there are so many screens available in the software product. So sometimes the user faces problem. How to use the screen, what data should be fed in, and what problem arises, and how to solve it. So these all should be specified in this user documentation or the all guides, user guides, manuals, and so on. So user documentation covers. So what should be there in the user documentation? See, all manuals. It should be helpful for the users of the system to read it and use the system. User guides. So when the user guide is going to help the user. Installation guide, if the user wants to install your software in their own systems. So this documentation should help them. Setup guides. Okay, even the setup guides, how should we install, those all steps should be there in that. For installation, if there is file needed. Okay, if any key is needed for software installation and all, that has to be specified here. Software release notes, some details about the softwares and the feature inclusion, feature enhancement details, and online help. And if there are some problems in the software or some part the user which is very complicated, so this part can be also taken the help from the online. So these are provided along with the software to help the end user to understand the software system. So whenever the software is developed, you can see with every software there is a CD. So in that CD, all these manuals, user guide, installation guide, setup guides will be available, and as well as should be also available on the user documentation. So what is the objective of user documentation testing? To check what is stated in the document is available in the product, and to check what is there in the product is explained correctly in the document. So these are the two objectives. So whatever is specified in the document, same is working in the product, and how the product is working, same is specified in the document, and whatever is explained in the document should match with the product working and should be explained in a proper way. so that the document should be helpful for all types of users. So benefits of user documentation testing. So what can be the benefits when you maintain the documentation for the software product? So it helps in highlighting problems. Yes, as I told you, documentation is a record how you analyze the software, what problems you have faced, and what testing you applied. So it helps you in and how is the flow of the system. So from this we'll understand how is the system and helps in highlighting the problems. If you are facing some of the issues in the problem, okay, we can go through this document and we can find out it. High quality user documentation ensures consistency of documentation and product, thus minimizing possible defects reported by customers. So, high quality user documentation. So, there must be consistency in the documentation and product so that it should minimize defects which will be mostly reported by the customers. New programmers and testers who join a project group can use the documentation to learn the functionality of the product. So as I told you, the user documentation of the software product must be able to help any type of user who is, whether it is a new user or developer, tester, or any other user. Customers need less training and can proceed more quickly to advanced training and product usage. Yes, before using the system, if the user goes through the documentation, so the documentation should help them, and because of the documentation the user needs less training and they can go for some other type of training. Next we'll see domain testing. Domain testing is carried out by a specialized person, or you can say by an expert person who is expert in that domain. Domain like whether it is a bank domain or an insurance domain or any other domains. The person who has experienced in those domains, who has worked in this and who has developed similar projects related to such domains. So he is the best person to guide you all and to give the suggestions and to find out most of the problems which occur in using the software. So it is purely based on that person's knowledge. You are going to carry out the domain testing. So testing the product purely based on domain knowledge and expertise in the domain of application. So it is purely based on how much knowledge that person has about that particular domain and how much expert he is. For example, banking software or any other type of like insurance, the person who is expert in that insurance domain, or hotel management softwares or hospital management softwares. This testing approach requires understanding of the day-to-day business activities for which the software is written. So for domain testing, the expert people requires the day-to-day knowledge about that business activities of that particular software. Now if you take the hotel management software, whenever the customer visits the hotel, so how they order the menus and how the billing is done, quantities will be included, discounts, whatever, or any other extra food they order, if they order the parcels and all. So based on these all things, how the billing will be done. So the person who has worked in that domain and have developed the similar softwares and can able to find out what are the issues, problems arises and what are the day-to-day activities. So such people can do the domain testing. Test the application by feeding interesting inputs and evaluating its outputs. So what type of inputs can be provided and what type of output is needed. So with this also system can be tested. Now if the person has knowledge about the program code, then that person is suitable for white box testing. And if the person has knowledge of requirement specifications available, then that person is suitable for black box testing. And if the person does not know the program code, as well as the requirements, then that person based on the domain knowledge can do the domain testing. Like a person is working in the bank and he knows all the details about the bank and he opens the bank account for the customers, then he is the best person to tell what are the requirements to open an account and what documents are needed and what problem arises and how to handle those. Now suppose if the person comes to the bank and some of the documents are missing or he does not bring it, then what can be the solution for such? Then there must be some other ways. So the person who is working there and who has already developed such type of software, he can able to do the domain testing. Next is scenarios for black box testing techniques. So this is the last part of the black box testing. Here we are going to see for which type of requirement, which type of black box testing is suitable. So when you want to test scenarios that have and most effective black box testing technique is used. So they are given here the requirements. Then for which type of requirement, which type of black box method is suitable. So if the requirement is that output values dictated by certain conditions depending upon values of input variables. So if there are many conditions and based on the input variables the condition changes, then for that you can use decision tables. Next requirement is input values in ranges and with each range exhibiting a particular functionality. So boundary value analysis you can use for this. Input values divided into classes, that is partitions and equivalence partitioning is best for that. Checking for expected and unexpected input values, that is valid and invalid, go for positive and negative testing. And if you want to check the workflows, process flows, then you can go for graph based testing. And to ensure that requirements are met, tested and made properly, then go for requirement based testing. To test the domain expertise, then you can go for domain testing. To ensure that the document is consistent with the product, then go for documentation testing. So here we have finished this black box testing. Thank you.